What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches, back with another video. Happy Friday. I know y'all are happy it's the freaking weekend. This video came out right on time, okay? So today we're doing another 90s inspired set, but this time we're doing it nude on nude on nude, all right? This is my regular client, and she came in like, I want a 90s set. I don't know the colors. You go ahead and choose. So, you know, I did have some creative control on this. So before we go ahead and get into it, you guys already know we're going to make sure that you guys are subscribed and all of that. Tori Time is our subscriber for today. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell. You want the bell on, because otherwise, who's going to tell you when I upload? Exactly. Nobody. So we did a soak off, and it was actually one of the quickest, smoothest soak offs ever because she really had a clear pink French tip set. And for those who don't know, clear is very easy to soak off because it's like there's not really too much color to it, if you get what I'm saying. So we're gonna go ahead and prep 2 times with the Young Nails Protein Bond. Okay, we're doing it 2 times because that's what Young Nails say to do. And the color that I chose today is Nude Me by Not Polished. Y'all already know if it's not polished, it's not nothing, never will be, never has been. That's just that on that. My liquid is always gonna be Young Nails because I'm a Young Nails girl. My brush size is a size 20 for those of you who are new to my channel. I like a big body, okay? Big body brushes only on my channel. So, like I said, this is a regular of mine, and I absolutely love my regulars coming in. They're just like, hey, I don't know what colors I want necessarily, but I know I want this type of set, and we go ahead and like make their dreams come true, all right? So pretty much what we're about to do is go ahead and lay just the base color. Now, normally when it comes to 90s type sets, sometimes they're on plain backgrounds, sometimes they have like a lot of you know, background designs. How do I explain it? You know, like color patching and things like that. She did say that she wanted to go ahead and do just a plain background, because I did ask her, I'm like, you know, you want some little razzle dazzle, you want plain? So she said she wanted a plain background. Other than that, she's not too picky. She just wanted a 90s type design. So that's what we went ahead to do. Okay, so this color is really, really nice on all skin tones, as you can see. Now, if you don't have Nude Me, you can also use Second Nude. It's a similar type of tone of nude, but the undertone is a little different. So like the color is very similar, but the undertone is slightly different. Either one of those are interchangeable with each other. I went ahead and made sure, well, actually on every client that wants a nude color, I usually pick, because to be honest, there's so many nudes to choose from. I have so many that they generally kind of get overwhelmed. So if they have a preference, I'll just ask them, you want something on the pinker side or something on the more, you know, standard nude side, and they'll just let me know if they want something a little pinker or not, or do they want like a deeper nude or a lighter nude, and I'll go ahead and choose for their skin tone. So that's how we go ahead and make sure that our nudes are matching everybody and all the time. So as you guys can see, I'm knocking out this application. This is considered a short to medium short set. So basically the way they book is I have basic sets, which is literally plain color, and then non-basic, which is everything that's not plain color, you know, such as French tip, marble, ombre, things of that nature. So what my client booked for was a short to medium short non-basic set. So realistically, I just want to know, you want plain color, yes or no? And if you don't want plain color, book the length that you like. Okay, so for short to medium short, it's going to be this length or shorter. Okay, so that's what she's booked for, just to give you guys kind of an idea of length. In my chair, I'm pretty generous with length. I know there's some people that think this is like straight up medium, and in my chair, medium is a little bit longer than this. I'm just pretty generous with length. That's all there is to it. So as you can see, for this particular length, I'm not using a whole bunch of acrylic. I will say that the thickness of my nails has definitely streamlined over the years. As I'm reflecting back, you guys, I'm about to go into my 4th year as a licensed nail tech. I'm getting very excited. It does not seem real. It's honestly like very crazy that I've been doing it for this long. I still feel like I'm new, but I gotta stop telling myself I'm new, because honestly, I'm not. Like, come on. 4 years in, that's not new. Okay, we get into that point to where I could be like, ooh, I remember when. Like, yeah, exactly. So at this point, I feel like I have finally pretty much perfected how much acrylic I should be using for each particular length that will still provide the shape that I need. Okay, shape, I mean strength. So as you guys can see, the apex on these is not overly crazy, because there's still enough support, not only in the the midway down area where the natural nail and the tip connect. There's enough support there, as well as in the apex, to go ahead and support the whole nail. That's what you're looking for, but we don't want it to be bulky. We want it to be very, very much streamlined, especially because we are doing a design that is heavy on the nail art. That is the entire design, and you want a nice, smooth surface, okay? You want to make sure that no matter what, it's gonna look smooth and shaped and together. So take your time on the application. I will say I sped it up just because I feel like we've been watching me do a lot of basic applications over the past couple of videos. So just so y'all know, application wise, this hand took about 10 minutes just because, as y'all saw, the pinky she was leaving a little bit of problems because there was like a big random not a knot, what is that called? Basically the powder didn't like break down like it was supposed to, if you guys saw. So the other hand probably took about 7 to 8 minutes. So just to give you guys a guideline, if it's like somewhere in the medium range, it's probably not going to take me more than 20 minutes for basic color application. All right, now on the index finger, you see how there's like a little chunk, a little dent that's out. I'm going to go back in and fill that in a little bit, because what's going to happen is when I go to shape and file and stuff like that, it's going to make the sidewall extremely thin, which can cause for like breakage in the nail. Okay, so although we do want our nails to be nice and streamlined and not too thick but not too fragile, we want to make sure that our nail sidewalls of the enhancements are good to go. And I will say I'm starting to kind of get more back into that look of like a thicker sidewall instead of something that's a little bit smaller, just because, I don't know, you know, as a nail tech, you play around with different looks. What do you like? What do you not like? You come back to things and you figure out your style in full. And that's just something that you experiment with. But you guys can see the other nails are very, very smooth, very seamless. It's come together quite well. No lumps, no bumps, because that's for chumps, okay? And basically, I'm going to show you a clip of what the application looks like after. So this is my application. Just, you know, we're done, and that's that. And I'm going to show you guys shaping. So we're going to go straight up into shaping. And we're going to see this in real time, because I really want you guys to kind of see this client, right? Her nail beds are not super big, but also not super small. They're pretty like more on the medium to average size, okay? Now, as I'm shaping, I just want you guys to pay attention to how I'm not trying to taper the ends and make it skinnier at the tip, because all that's going to do, I know people think like, oh, well, if you just taper the end, it's going to give like a nice, slimmer, skinnier result. Honestly, all that's going to do is draw attention to the size of the nail bed and their natural nail size. You see what I'm saying? And it's just going to basically show that we're going from big to small. So if you're a person with larger nail beds, as am I, tapering off everything is not the answer. If anything, it's going to draw more attention to, unless you want to do something like a coffin, an actual coffin. Okay, sure, because that's a shape. But like I explained to another client this week, or actually she explained to me, she was like, you know, when you say tapered square is not real, she was like, it do make sense, because there's a lot of people whose coffins is literally a square, and the squares is, tapered square is not much different than a square, but some people's tapered square looks like a coffin, but then when they do coffin, it looks like square. I said, yeah, everything is not universal. So I've been telling people, like, this is why it's important to find a nail tech that works for you, whose work that you like, and go off of their shaping, their length, and all of that stuff, okay? So as you can see, we're just making sure that everything is nice and smooth, because if you do nail art on top of nails that are lumpy, chunky, bumpy, what it's going to cause is the nail art to look lumpy, chunky, and bumpy. We're already doing some abstract lines and designs. We don't need no extra things of that nature, okay? So as you can see, the shaping is in real time. I just really wanted to show, I can't talk. I really wanted to show you guys you know, just what it looks like on different types of clients. And as you can see, I'm keeping that 90-degree angle at the tip. And I do also, okay, so let me just touch on this really quick. I know a lot of people have a hard time getting all 10 nails nice and even, but that's gonna take time, and you have to actually put in the effort to triple check your work. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that it ain't nothing wrong with triple checking your work. Just because I know you feel like you're done doesn't mean you always are done, okay? People are paying their good hard-earned money, all right, for these sets that people are providing. And the least that you can do is double and triple check to make sure that everything is looking good and looking symmetrical as possible, okay? Because a lot of clients, you know, when clients come in, new clients, I do ask them, like, you know, what was your previous experiences? How did that work out? Do you have a favorite and least favorite set? Just to kind of open them up and get them talking and see, like, what the hell is it that they used to? And a lot of complaints are crooked nails, uneven nail lengths, or nail shapes that are not similar, okay? So keep that in mind. If you feel like the nail is crooked, honestly, it probably is. If you feel like that nail is a little bit short, honestly, it probably is, because you're not going to feel that way for no reason. All right. So the way I make sure that all 10 are the same, it starts with the tip. So when I cut them, I measure, okay, here's the index cut, here's the middle cut, but I'm also going to, like you guys saw, I'm going to compare the index to the middle finger on both hands. Then I'm going to compare all 5 fingers to each other on one hand. Then I'm going to compare the ones to the other hand. So I'm basically cross-examinationing what I've already compared to make sure that I am correct in what I thought my eyes were seeing. All right, when it comes to making sure everything is nice and even. So here is the final result of shaping. I'm not going to say this was the best angle, but at the same time, I was like, okay, this is the clip. We got it. We good. Cool. So you guys know I only do nail art on top of top coated nails. I see some people do base coat, which is fine. The only thing with base coat is base coat tends to be sticky. Top coat is not sticky. So just imagine if you mess up or do something on top of base coat, you're not going to easily be able to just like, oh, let me just wipe it off. You have to like get some acetone or something. Whereas like on top of top coat, if I mess up anything, I can take my finger, I can wipe it off, I can use acetone. Like it's very much not that big of a deal. Also, you don't need to use you don't need to use base coat on acrylic. So if you're only using base coat because like, oh, base coat before top coat, it doesn't make sense, to be honest, because acrylic just absorbs in everything. Okay, so there's no oily layer. So this is Madame Glam's on my, what did I say? On my brown. Okay, so that's the dark brown we're using. And this is the point in time, I already knew when I picked that nude out that, okay, I want to do like a nude look. I don't see that very often, all right? Then Gel Elixir in Snow White and the black. Y'all, these, child, let me tell you something. I love these colors. The Gel Elixir brand, it takes 2 minutes to cure, but if you don't mind that, look. This is the darkest black and the palest white I have ever used, okay? So then we've got this nude by Nail Reserve LA. Now, you guys, do not sleep on the coupon codes that I have for not only Madame Glam, but also Nail Reserve. Y'all already know I swear by Nail Reserve as well. I really like their colors. Very smooth. They glide very nicely. I don't mind Madame Glam. I just felt like sometimes the colors that you get are not necessarily always what you ordered. So just be careful of that. But the LA Nail Reserve, for the most part, you get what you see, okay? So I have coupon codes that will save you up to 50% off, okay? So check the description. All right, so here we go. So I knew that I wanted to do something like, I don't want to say different, but there's so many different ways to do like 90s type designs. I just knew like, okay, I do want a swirl going down in the middle amongst some of those lines. And there's not, I don't want to say there's not a rhyme or reason, because there is. But at the same time, you know, just let the artwork flow. Okay. Excuse me. So yeah, I did know that I wanted the brown to represent itself in like some type of swirl or something. And so I was like, okay, let's start there. So normally I will complete the first hand, right? To just figure out what is it I want to do. And then I'll just replicate it on the second hand. To me personally, that is the quickest and easiest way, because sometimes you can be unsure. And when you're unsure, you're thinking like, okay, is this going to look good? Okay. How am I feeling about this? But yeah, I had a feeling it was going to come together in my head. I have done this style of 90s design before, so it didn't really bother me. I did think at first like, oh, let me do color patching, but then I remembered, I'm like, oh, she said she just kind of wants like a basic color background. So then I went ahead with some line art, some more like regular lines, not necessarily swirls. And so I just started out by like, okay, I know I want 2 back to back, and I want them near the brown. So I kind of started that in my head, and I was like, okay, I'm probably going to place them in different areas. Now for me personally, I don't use a super long striper brush. I like to use something more medium in this length, so it provides me with a more bolder, thicker line. That's the look I like. If you don't like that look, that's fine. You can go ahead and use a liner that you like, liner brush that you like, and you know, do what you want to do accordingly. So then I decided, like, okay, I want to go in for a second round. And so I will go in between each like layer and I will cure it for a couple of seconds. So after this white layer, I'm going to go and cure it. Then whatever is the next color, I'm going to go ahead and cure it. And the reason why I do that on the first time around is so that as I'm working, I don't smudge or smear anything. Because I am honestly notorious for that, especially in the past when I was first doing nail art. So I just want to make sure that, okay, we got the placement. If it looked good, we're going to call it good. And that's just going to be it. Okay. Now, on the other hand, I pretty much will do multiple layers at once. So it's like, okay, I know the brown was first, then the white. So I'll do, okay, the brown and the white at the same time, cure it for a couple seconds. And then I'll take it out. It's like, okay, let's do the nude and the black. Cure it for a couple seconds. No, actually at that, we're just going to cure it the whole rest of the time. So you don't need to cure more than like 5 to 10 seconds in between, because I mean, it's honestly not like we're trying to fully dry it. Cause like, we still on a like time crunch, you know, like we still got other clients. So yeah. So I actually really ended up liking this nude. It's very similar to the nude in the background, which is why I wanted to use it. Cause I'm like, it's going to stand out just enough, but also blend in just enough. And I felt like that was going to provide a really cute aspect to it. And at first I was like, okay, I don't want the lines to like touch. But then once one touched, I was like, no, yeah, I do want the lines to like touch. By that, I mean like, you know how the brown, it like follows all the way through. I felt like with the nude, at first it kind of just like stopped in odd places, and I was like, no. So really, this is all about your creative freedom and your expression. There is not a client that's going to be able to tell you exactly how they want these lines. They may be able to show you a reference picture for like the style design, because there's so many different ways to do like 90s designs. But as far as the actual lines itself, that's going to be something that's within you and your own design places and your own talent at that. Okay. And I mean, this is something that you're going to continue to practice on with. Everybody's line work and line art is differently. I felt like this came out really cute. A lot of my clients like the fact that I do these type of sets, because I mean, I'm in Sacramento, California, and a lot of people don't do these out here where I'm at. Okay. Because like I said, it's mostly really, really, you know, like trendy Instagram, ooh, that's popular online type things in a way. But I feel like that's everywhere. People like to do that everywhere. Even though 90 sets are kind of trending, but only amongst a certain type of group of people. So I don't know. Anyways, with the black, I decided I wanted to keep it to contrast against the white. So I was like, okay, we're gonna add a third line in the vicinity with the white. And I felt like that was gonna go ahead and make it pop, because what I didn't want is for the colors to get muddled. I didn't want the colors to get muddled, and I wanted each color to be able to individually stand out. So after I went ahead and did that, oh child, you know, my song was coming on. Okay, and it was like to the point where I was like, oh, hold on, we got stuff to do. So then I think I decided, I was like, I want some more black on there, I want some more pop. So then I decided to go ahead and add some around the brown to further make the brown pop. Okay. So it's kind of, everything is like trial and error. You want to make sure, like, okay, do I like this? Do I like that? Like, what do I like? Where do I want to see it at? And that's pretty much it when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to doing all the little, you know, the dots and stuff, I do use a dotting tool. I don't know what like size this is, and I don't know where I got it from. To be honest with you, I've had this for years. But you just want to make sure that you have enough product on the, I think I was going to do another nude, and I decided against it, I think. Yeah, I decided against it. So I'll always do white and black dots, regardless. White and black is always in my 90s designs, and typically I will do 4 to 5. In this particular look, I decided to do 4 because I was heavy on the line work. Okay, so the dots are filling in the gaps, right? Because when I do it this way, or at least in my 90s designs, I like to have as little background space as possible. I like it to look not really cluttered, but definitely like designed. So I will strategically place the dots. That's gonna make the other areas pop, but also take up more space on the nail. So typically I'll go in with the white, because white, if you guys don't know, white is more of a highlight, black is more of a shadow. So I will add the white where I want more pops of brightness. So you can see I'm using it to contrast against the browns, contrast against the black. Sometimes I will even put it near the white. Just depends on how I'm feeling. And then I will go ahead with the black, and typically I will put those in areas near lighter shades, so that way we can have those shades kind of complement against the black, if that makes sense. So that's actually strategic too. So even though it looks like, okay, just throw it together, as you can see, it's not. It is pretty thought out. So you can see, like, adding that black in between, you know, some of those lighter shades, it definitely does help everything pop. Now originally I was gonna go in with only one black dotted area, but then I think I decided to go in for a second, because I was like thinking like, oh, do I want to do the brown as one? But then I thought like, no, I don't. So again, just like I said with the white, sometimes I'll put the white near the white and instead of using it as a highlight. Same thing with the black. Sometimes I will put it near darker areas just to draw more attention to those darker areas. But typically I'm going to use them for what they're made for. White is a highlight, black is a shadow. So yeah, honestly, that's pretty much it. I really hope you guys enjoyed these nails. I really enjoyed them. I really enjoy doing sets like this. I feel like it allows me to be super duper creative, super duper easy though, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, you guys, it's about to be October. Y'all already know what that means. I got sets coming for y'all, and as usual, I'll see you in the next one.